Okay, class, so today we're going to use our ratios to find missing sides. That's what we're looking at. So we will find x and any sides that we need to know. So we have the three trigonometric ratios. We have sine theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. That's also known as SO. We have cosine theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse. That's also known as ka. And then we have tan theta equals opposite over adjacent, and that is known as toa. So what does that stand for? So stands for sine equals opposite over hypotenuse, the first letters. Ka stands for cosine equals a over h. And TOA stands for T equals O over A, or tan equals O over A. So that's always going to be given to you. You don't have to make that up. You'll always know that. So when we're solving, what we want to do is start by labeling your HOA, H, O, and A. So we have our angle of interest, which is 35 degrees, and we have 90 degrees. Let's start at 90 and label the hypotenuse. And then let's label the opposite side. Now, which one's left over? The adjacent side. So because we know x and 9, we are dealing with the hypotenuse and the opposite according to 35 degrees. So we can set up a ratio using sine, because sine is involving O and H, or opposite and hypotenuse. So we will say sine 35 degrees equals 9 over x. Okay, and then we can go and solve for x. So this is the hardest one. When x is on the bottom, what happens is these switch spots. And so you're left with x equals 9 divided by sine 35 degrees. Okay. There's a lot more math to it than that, but that's all that we need to know. And so then we can figure out our value for x. On a calculator, if you are using your phone, okay, if you're using your phone type calculator where you don't see the word, you will go 9 divided by 35 and then press sine, but that's only going to come up with sine 35. Then you have to press equals in order to do the division. So watch my calculator. I go 9 divided by 35 sine. Now that's just sine 35. That's the ratio in decimal form. I press equals, and now it does the division. And I get 15.69 or 15.7. Okay? Usually we round to one decimal, so 15.7 for our sides. Now, if you have a calculator where you see the words on the screen, like my graphing calculator, you type it in exactly as you see it. 9 divided by sine 35. And then I press equals. Boom. Oops, I am not on degrees. I must check. Wait 1 second. Okay, so now I'm on degrees in my calculator. It's a little bit tricky to do. I go 9 divided by sine 35 equals, and I get the exact same answer. Okay, so that's one step when the unknown is on the bottom. That's the hard one. Okay. Good. So let's go down then. Next question. So they do their work here. They're all good, same work. Now we have a ladder. Let me erase this. Okay, so we have a ladder against the building, classic. So the ladder's 8.5 meters long. Okay, so here's 8.5 meter long ladder, and it makes an angle of 72 degrees with the ground. There we go. How far up the building will it reach? That's what you want to know. And so we can take this and make a simple triangle. Now, here's 90 degrees. We're going to label our HOA. H is across from 90. Here's our angle of interest, 72 degrees, so that would be the opposite side, and A is left over. So again, we're going to be dealing with so because we have O and H. Those are our sides that are given to us. We don't care about A. Who cares? Ignore A. O and H is what's important. So let's set up a ratio. Sine 72 degrees. You always must have something in here, either a letter or a number. There must always be something there. Equals the opposite, which is side x, over the hypotenuse, which is 8.5. Okay, so we set it up. Good. And so now instead of dividing by 8.5, we bring it up and multiply. So we get 8.5 times sine 72 degrees. And I'm using my brackets for multiplication. Okay, this means multiply. So if you have a phone calculator, on your phone calculator, you go 8.5 times 72 sine, and then that's just sine 72, so you got to press the equals button in order to do the multiplication. So here's this calculator. It works just like a phone. 8.5 times 72 sine equals 8.08. So x equals 8.08. There we go. If you have a graphing calculator, you'll type it in exactly as you see it. So you will go 8.5 times sine 72 equals the exact same answer. That's the only two pieces of work that you're going to do today. Okay, either the unknown on the bottom or the unknown on the top of the fraction. That's it. What we're going to change though is sine, cos, and tan. So let's go back down. Here we're going to go and do a different. So let's go over this one. The first thing you do is you label HOA. Label your HOA. HOA. Here's angle 30 degrees. Here's 90. So this would be your hypotenuse. Straight line. This will be your opposite. And this will be your adjacent. Now, we don't care about the hypotenuse this time because we don't know about it. We're not talking about it. What we're talking about is our hypotenuse and the adjacent. And that would be cosine. So this cos stands for cos theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse. And so we will write cos 30 degrees, I must always have something there, equals the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Now instead of dividing by 5, we bring it up and multiply by 5. So 5 times cos 30 degrees equals x. And then x equals, we'll go to our calculator. So with a phone, you got to have your numbers first. 5 times 30. Now we press cos. That's cos 30. We have to press this equals sign in order to do the multiplication. 4.33. Okay. So this is when your unknown is on the top, just like up above. Good. Next question. Here's tangent. So with tangent, we label our HOA. Now we're talking about O and A. So TOA stands for tan theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. Sorry, opposite over adjacent. And so we are going to be dealing with x going for the A spot and 2 for the O spot. So our first line of work is tan 15 degrees equals 2 over x. So dividing by x, we switch spots. That's the first step, but there we go. It switched spots. Okay? And so we have x equals 2 divided by tan 15 degrees. Good. And then we get 7.46 on our calculator. So we pick our ratio based on which sides we're given, looking at SOHCAHTOA and all the different combos. Good. There's 2 little pieces of work. One piece of work is when your unknown is on the top, and the other piece of work is when your unknown is on the bottom. Those are the only 2 things that we're doing today. Okay, there you go. So lesson 1, find the sides, label your HOA, choose sine, cos, or tan. Just do questions numbers 1, all of them, and then you're done. All right, so we're just completing today assignment number 6. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll help you out online.